if you're being encouraged to use formula and you can breastfeed, you should probably breastfeed.
Yeah, I'm never using formula.
It's such a mom topic, but yeah.
No, I'm about to get married and thinking about having kids. I'm never using formula.
Yeah, if you can breastfeed, obviously, do it. But I would highly encourage, if you have the ability to, even if you're working. I was working and pumping, and you should do it.
Absolutely. What other investigations have you been busy with?
So we actually just had a bombshell revelation from the CIA in regards to the JFK assassination. And so we're wrapping up our actual investigation in regards to that. And what I will tell you is that, we had this massive drop, like I'm talking tens of thousands of documents, multiple hearings have gone through with investigators, people that have dedicated their lives. I even had Oliver Stone in to testify to the committee. We've been working with people like Roger Stone, Jeff Morley, to actually uncover what happened. And so the CIA actually admitted on Friday that an individual by the name of Joe Nedes, who is a CIA operative, PSYOP guy, really dark actually. He knowingly lied to Congress, undermined congressional investigations, was awarded by the CIA for his ability to, thwart Congress's efforts in regards to looking into that investigation. And then also had interaction. The CIA had interaction with Oswald prior to the assassination of JFK. So in addition to the testimonies that we've gotten from doctors that were actually in the room when Kennedy was shot, that testified to there being multiple entry wounds from the front and the back. That means that there wasn't a lone gunman. Just on the admission on Friday from the CIA regarding Joe Nedes, the lone gunman theory is now dead.
Wow.
We have evidence that the Warren Commission, which was the initial investigative committee from Congress, actually knowingly intimidated witnesses, omitted evidence, pushed a theory that was not possible in regards to the magic bullet theory. So without a doubt, there's multiple shooters. The CIA had definitely been observing Oswald, who I believe was a patsy. He was, I believe, the person that they pinned the crime on. We also were made aware of testimony from witnesses that never saw Oswald in the book depository. So the question is, who did it? Will we ever have the actual names of the shooters? Probably not. But do we know that the CIA engaged in a cover-up? Absolutely. That was an admission now put forward. Thank you to the director, CIA currently, CIA Director Ratcliffe, and President Trump's executive order. This was a bipartisan investigation that is decades long overdue, but after 60 plus years, we finally got the answers on who killed Kennedy. And the answer to that is the CIA knowingly engaged in a cover-up. They had connections with the people that likely pulled the trigger. And what I would tell you is you can put together the rest of the picture on that.
Well done. Another conspiracy theory checked off.
Checked off, investigated and checked off, and there'll be a final report to Congress in the next coming months.
Yeah, they taught the lone gunman theory when I was in high school. I remember.
They did, and when I made that admission publicly, they tried to say I was a conspiracy theorist, and they actually brought on journalists to try to discredit what we were doing. And then after attending the hearings, they could never publish the reports. And then ultimately now the Atlantic actually just posted a massive story saying that, the CIA just admitted to having interaction with Oswald. So, starting at the assassination with John F. Kennedy, there's been a big trust issue in this country with the American people and the federal government. Mm-hmm. And I'm always going to continue to advocate through transparency. That's the only way you're going to get trust back.
Respect. And speaking of trust issues, I feel like this Epstein stuff has caused a lot of trust issues.
Most definitely.
I know you're investigating that, but where do you stand on all that?
I will say that I've exhausted all resources at my ability as a member of Congress to be able to obtain any information. Unfortunately, we were not given really any information at all. And then you saw what came out from the DOJ. I would say that there's still information pertaining to Jeffrey Epstein, not regarding CSAM material, not involving victims' identities that they can release. And you have, the Daily Mail that's been able to obtain evidence publicly out there and available. The way that the rollout happened, I think because of the conflicting amount of information has contributed to a lot of anger, and rightfully so. And I will continue to advocate for transparency on that. I think that when you're in a free and fair society, if you have double standards of justice, it's not fair at all.
Yeah.
And either which way, I will say that until that happens, I think people are going to continue to distrust the government. I hope that there's not another task force in 67 years to investigate that. I hope that the information comes out. But again, I'm not at the DOJ. And I will tell you that as far as we're concerned, though, we will continue to get answers for the American people. So I would consider that the JFK investigation has been a success. You can actually look at all of those findings and documents online at the National Archives. Our next investigation will be onto the assassination of RFK.
Oh, yeah? RFK. Nice. What about the 9/11 stuff? Do you plan on looking at
We've actually been simultaneously conducting information on 9/11 and then also UAPs. What's interesting about 9/11 is we were made aware of some of the 9/11 families that are suing the federal government that MI6, which is the intelligence agencies from our friends across the pond, had given, I guess, information.
All right, guys, Sean Kelly here, host of the Digital Social Hour podcast. Just filmed 33 amazing episodes at Student Action Summit. Shout out to Code Health, sponsor these episodes, but also I took them before filming each day. Felt amazing. Just filmed 20 episodes straight and I'm not even tired, honestly. So Code Health, amazing products. I also take these at home, especially when I traveled. I used to get sick every time I flew, and I started taking that. First time, I haven't had a runny nose, knock on wood. One standout element, it's so easy. You got the travel pack here, but you could just take this, fit it in your pocket if you need to. Also, all natural, like only saline solution in there. So you don't got to worry about any crazy side effects or anything. Yeah, Code's unique. With supplements, there's a lot of who knows what's in those ingredients. Code Health, I haven't seen much like this, where it's just based off the codes that are in the saline solutions. So I would say they're very unique. It's going to be the future of health and medicine. Code Health has been awesome.
Feel the drop and go code yourself.
Pertaining to individuals that knew about the attacks prior. Obviously, foreign governments definitely involved in that. But the fact is that the FBI, whether out of gross negligence or intentional, did not do what they should have done. And there's also incidences of individuals casing the Capitol potentially for attack that wasn't handled right by the FBI either. So I will say that, I look, as an investigator, there's a lot happening all at once. But when you have these types of topics, especially at hand, you have terrorists that are very real, very, very alive, that are looking at bringing mass harm and harm to the American people. What ends up happening is someone needs to be held accountable. Those people should have been fired. They should have never been able to stay at the agency. So there's a lot of questions there, and I hope to get to those too.
Anything catch your eyes on the UAP investigations?
A ton. So what I can tell you is, without a doubt, I have seen stuff that leads me to believe that these things are not of human creation. Aside from that, what I can also tell you is, this thing keeps resurfacing on interdimensional beings, not necessarily extraterrestrial. That's also an interesting topic if you look at it depending on the lens and perspective. It's definitely one of those things that was considered a taboo topic. And the number one question that I get actually from other members of Congress or members that want to gavel into the investigations or go to briefings that we're having is, I want to talk about this, but I want to be labeled crazy. And I think that it's funny, like the questions that I'm asking are the questions that everyone wants to know. I'm just the one that's saying it.
Yeah, you do a great job of that.
Thank you.
I think it makes everyday people feel like they have a voice.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'm like a conduit, I guess.
Yeah, because you're so active on social media with the late night tweets and everything. And you're on
my best stuff comes between the hours of 11 and 2 a.m.
The late night ideas in bed.
Yep.
Yeah. No, you're great at that because there's older members of Congress that don't use social media, right, as much.
Social media is a way. It's the public square. And I do appreciate Elon Musk's contributions to the free speech efforts on X. X has been a game changer, and still to date, I wasn't big on Twitter when it was Twitter because I was censored on it.
Right.
After he purchased it, I started using it. Now it's actually my preferred platform.
Yeah, your engagement's crazy on there.
Yeah.
Where are you at with his new party? Do you think that's a good idea?
Congress already functions kind of like a parliament. What I would say is that there has been deep frustration even from members of Congress within our own party because there seems to be lethargy and people that campaign and then break their promises.
Wherever you guys are watching this show, I would truly appreciate it if you follow or subscribe. It helps a lot with the algorithm. It helps us get bigger and better guests, and it helps us grow the team. Truly means a lot. Thank you guys for supporting, and here's the episode.